What's up guys, Film Rich here, and today we're breaking down a landmark episode of The Sopranos, an episode driven by paranoia, guilt, and the moment of Tony Soprano is finally forced to confront a truth he's been avoiding. This is an episode where dreams reveal that what reality refuses to say out loud. As always, before we get into it, I would like to remind everyone to please like, share, and subscribe. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. With Janice gone, Tony and his youngest sister Barbara discuss Livia Soprano's living arrangements. Tony quickly grows frustrated and resolves the issue himself, giving Livia airline tickets obtained during the Scatino bust out and instructing her to move permanently to Arizona. That evening, Tony meets his new business partner at an Indian restaurant to discuss a calling card scam. Later, he has a second dinner at Vesuvio's with Big Pussy and Furio. As Pussy carefully explains the mechanics of the scam to Furio, Tony notices that the explanation sounds unusually rehearsed. He briefly senses that something is off, but he dismisses the feeling. Returning home, Tony surprises Carmela with a new fur coat acquired from Patsy Parisi, the twin brother of Philly Parisi, who was previously killed. Tony asks Carmela to model the coat for him, and the two share an intimate moment. That night, Tony experiences a disturbing dream set on a snowy boardwalk in Ashbury Park. He encounters members of his crew and Hesh, and mistakenly refers to Patsy Parisi as Philly, only to be corrected when Philly turns around, revealing the bullet in his head. Tony claims he has been diagnosed with cancer. Christopher, Paulie, and Silvio bizarrely encourage him to immolate himself. Tony prepares to do so. He notices Gigi Satone shining Philly's shoes. Realizes Big Pussy is missing. Tony bursts into flames and wakes up in panic. As Carmela tries to comfort him, Tony realizes his emotional distress is actually caused by severe stomach pain. He rushes to the bathroom, vomiting and suffering gastrointestinal issues, and blames the episode on the chicken vindaloo he ate earlier. Tony falls back asleep and enters another surreal dream on the boardwalk, this time under bright sunlight. He sees Uncle Junior watching from a building. He hears a disembodied voice asking ambiguous questions. He encounters Silvio, dressed and speaking like Michael Corleone from The Godfather Part 3, which amuses him. Using a toy viewer, Tony sees a vision of himself arguing with Paulie in an abandoned warehouse, ending with Tony shooting Paulie in the chest. The next morning, Artie Bucco arrives at the Soprano home with food for Meadows' graduation. A sick and delirious Tony accuses Artie of poisoning him through Vesuvio's food. Artie insists the Indian restaurant is responsible. They call Big Pussy, who admits to minor diarrhea but nothing severe. Tony falls back asleep. Tony dreams of Dr. Melfi in a sexual context while Dr. Cusimano examines him, blending his illness, desire, and anxiety into a single hallucination. Tony returns to the boardwalk in yet another dream. This time he encounters a fishmonger's stall where one fish speaks to him in Big Pussy's voice. The fish calmly tells him that he is informant of the FBI, adding that Tony already knew this but couldn't accept it. Tony reluctantly admits the truth and laments the end of their friendship. The fish jokes that the other fish are sleeping, enraging Tony, who flips the stall and wakes up. Still ill but resolved, Tony visits Pussy's house with Silvio. Pretending they are going to look at a boat, Tony uses his sickness as an excuse to search Pussy's bedroom and finds a hidden recording device in his cigar box. Tony, Silvio, Pussy, and Paulie meet at the marina and take the boat out to sea. Below deck, Pussy plays music but is cornered and interrogated. Pussy confesses and claims he was acting as a double agent, feeding the government useless information. The men share drinks as Pussy tries to delay his fate. Eventually, Tony and Paulie and Silvio draw their guns. Pussy asks them not to shoot his face, panics and is shot multiple times in the chest. His body is weighted down in chains and dumped into the ocean. Tony returns home only for Carmela to receive a call from Livia, who has been detained using stolen airline tickets. FBI agents arrive and arrest Tony just as Meadow returns home with friends. Tony confronts director Kobitso while in custody. Neil Mink secures his release on bail for the following morning. In therapy, Tony discusses his food poisoning, his dream about Melfi, and his mother's role in getting him arrested. Melfi cuts through his anger issues and smugness, noting that Tony seems deeply sad. Unable to confront the true cause of his grief, Tony leaves the session singing to himself. At Meadow's graduation, Tony speaks with Christopher about finally being made and encounters Davey Scatino, who is leaving for Nevada after losing his marriage and his son's college money. A montage follows, showing the graduation celebration intercut with the crew's business activities. As Tony steps aside and lights a cigar, the episode cuts to a final image of the ocean with Big Pussy's final resting place. This episode marks one of the most defining moments in The Sopranos, the end of the second season, where denial gives way to acceptance and loyalty gives way to necessity. Tony Soprano finally knows the truth, but the cost of that knowledge will never leave him. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and check out more episode recaps here on Film Rich. Thanks for watching.